It's round 5 of the Inter Enduro DMAX Championship. We're here at Shenington for the first time since the championship started, and we've come to Shenington, considered one of the best tracks in the country. Lots of straights and lots of overtaking opportunities. We've just had qualifying. The drivers are now heading down to us, and on pole position is Tor Ryan from Bobby Trunley and Curtis Mitchell. Let's walk this way. Just looking over, Tor Ryan has decided to go all the way down there. Bobby Trunley's trying to run away from us, and he's done a runner. He's literally done a runner. There we go. The show must go on. We'll keep going. We'll keep going.
I'm well down, so I ain't got a clue where I'm going to be. But I'm just unstable on the braking, so me overdriving, not knowing the track. So the more I push, the more I'm drifting wide. But maybe the rear tyres, I just don't got the stability on the braking. But power seems okay. It's just drifting around the corners. But if I can settle down in the race, maybe I can improve. But
well, thanks for speaking to us. Best luck for the race. So Chris Hackworth, one of the best DMAX drivers in history, struggling. Mike, how'd you get on?
P10. I think I can go forward from 10th, but we'll see. I like the track, I know the track, so it's a bit of work, I think. So,
what do you think racing wise? Do you think it's going to be good racing?
I think it's going to be a tough first 10 laps. I think the problem we have here is that it's going to bunch up, and I've got a funny feeling the racing is going to be a little bit like PF, where you need some punch down the straight. There's a bit of a breeze today, so whoever's out front, they're going to need to be strong and have a powerful car, I think, to break. Otherwise, I think we're going to have 5, 6, 7 fighting over the podium. So it should make it good for you guys. So yeah.
Well, thanks for your insight. Thanks for speaking to us. Best of luck for the race. And hello, Curtis Mitchell. How are you doing? So you were third.
Yes, popped that in at the last lap, I think.
Yeah, it was right at the death. Yeah, right at the death. So is this your first time at DMAX? You done a few rounds?
No, I did. My first round was at Buckmore. Last round, which it was all right round. I was mid-pack, which I had a incident in qualifying where my wheel fell off at Buckmore Park, so it put me on the back foot for the rest of the day. But started third today, so hopefully we'll have a much better result. Maybe go home with some silverware.
Yeah, so a step forward this time.
Yeah, absolutely, step forward, and yes, hopefully we'll be on the podium at the end as well.
Thanks for speaking to us. Curtis Mitchell, he's third on the grid. And coming over, it's Tor Ryan, he's over here. So no speaking to Bobby Trunley. We do speak to him a lot, and he ran away this time. But very close. It's good to get the insight. Chris Hackworth struggling. That's interesting. First time I've heard him say that. Mike Hoppin saying that he thinks it's going to bunch up, similar to PF. And here's the man on pole that everyone has to try and catch because he was over 2 tenths clear. It's nice to see it all. Where'd that pace come from?
I don't know really. Yesterday, to be honest, I felt quite strong. Today, got a good kart, bit of luck on the side. Massive wind down the back straights. But apart from that, to be honest, mate, I think there's 0.1 or 0.2 in it. Bobby's P2. I've got to be careful. Last interview, I said I was in 5th. I was actually 12th. Got my timings wrong.
No, Bobby alongside you, Curtis Mitchell behind you.
Right, okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at the sheets yet, so just getting some water on. I'm feeling confident anyway, to say the least. It should be fine for the race. Should be fine, yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks for speaking to us. Best of luck for the race. So Tor Ryan's going off pole. Here's Alex with the rest of the grid.
So the grid for round 5 for the Inter Enduros is Tor Ryan on pole position. No one had an answer for him, including current championship leader Bobby Trunley. Alongside him on the front row. Row 2, it's Curtis Mitchell and Jordan Taylor. Behind them, Richard Lacey, Nuno Costa, and Zander Mahoney and James Perry on row 4. Daniel Russell and Mike Copping on row 5, ahead of the returning Chris Hackworth and Alan Curtis, who did a great job at Buckmore Park last time out. Tim McKeegan, Luke Hornsby and Tom East would complete the top 15, ahead of Joe Ellis, Philip Senior, Ollie Peacock, Alec Turner, with Anthony Kirk completing the top 20, and rounding out the 29 strong grid is Martin Bork, Lee Carey, Seb Cook, John Donnelly, Tim Ellis, Stuart Shearman, Nigel Foote, James Browning and Paul Mason. So we're set for an hour of racing here at Shenington. First time DMAX has ventured here to Oxfordshire. Great, glorious sunshine. Chris, another exciting enduro racing prospect.
Yeah, speaking to some of the drivers just then before the start of the race, Chris Hackworth, surprisingly, he's struggling. He just said it's within himself that he's just seems to be struggling. But a lot of people, Mike Coppin in particular, reckons this could be a very, very close one. And at the front of the field, as you've said, Tor Ryan on pole. with Bobby Trunley alongside him. So they make their way onto the start-finish straight then, this round 5 of the Inter Enduro Championship. And it's Tor Ryan and Bobby Trunley on the front row. Are we going to get away first time cleanly? We do. Tor Ryan gets a good start and leads them into turn 2, and Bobby Trunley goes to second. Jordan Taylor trying to come through to third, and Taylor's got it. So Taylor into third place. Curtis Mitchell has dropped a couple of places. Now, did we have anyone go off at turn 2? We didn't. Alex, you're keeping an eye on turn 4?
Yes, nearly going 3 wide into turn 4. Round Stratford hairpin, going down the straight, heading towards the Bruno chicane for the first time of asking, and Tor Ryan has got Bobby Trunley closing on him, and they've eked out a couple of kart lengths at the very least over Curtis Mitchell and Jordan Taylor.
It looks like into third place is Richard Lacey, and I think Curtis Mitchell may be no, in fourth place is Richard Lacey, sorry, and I think Curtis Mitchell is in 5th. Just trying to pick out who it is in 6th. I think it might be Mike Coppin. Let's see as they come across the line. It is Mike
Copping.
So
it is Mike Copping, already up from 10th.
Nuno Costa in 7th, and then in 8th place is James Perry. Oh, and Mike Coppin is on the back of Curtis Mitchell in 5th place here. Is he going to try and move up at turn 4, I wonder?
No, not quite there yet, but right behind him, I think that is Nuno Costa and James Perry, 7th and 8th. And we're still getting through the initial throws of the action here at Shenington.
And all but a change of lead. Bobby Trunley up the inside of Tor Ryan through turn 1. And coming into the pit lane is James Perry. James Perry into the pits, and that is a penalty.
And that's a disaster, having qualified 8th. So James Perry right down to the back end of the field already.
I wonder if he had anything to do with Nuno Costa tumbling down the order, because Nuno Costa was just ahead of him, and now Costa is in 16th place, and that's after a couple of moves. Oh, and Luke Hornsby making a move in the chicane there. That was on Daniel Russell going into the left hand of the chicane, and he's just lost a place to Martin Bork down at Wilkins. So getting worse for Ollie Peacock, his season not going to plan at all.
And there's a 4-way scrap between Chris Hackworth, Zander Mahoney, Luke Hornsby and Daniel Russell. That is for 8th out on track at the moment as they all head up towards turn 4. Coming through turn 3 at the moment.
Yep, and Zander Mahoney's going to put one up the inside, as he tried the move on Chris Hackworth and didn't quite work, so Zander Mahoney sits back for now. I don't know if Zander Mahoney had he was 7th in qualifying, so he's lost a couple of places, but then again there were some very quick drivers down out of position.
And Tor Ryan, as we say that, is coming through Wilkins just behind Bobby Trunley. The gap is literally nose to tail between the pair.
It is, so we'll watch them as they come through turn 1, now in towards turn 2. Tor Ryan, is he going to make a move here on Bobby Trunley? Not too far behind is Jordan Taylor and Curtis Mitchell. So it's all been changing in that group.
And Hornsby's losing out of place going into Wilkins. That is, I think that is Zander Mahoney going back, retaking that place. And Chris Hackworth goes past Luke Hornsby. The pair are side by side down the start-finish line. Coming into turn 1, Chris Hackworth hasn't got the inside line. He's got the inside line for turn 2. Overtakes Luke Hornsby. Nice little move there. And you've got the battle with Daniel Russell waiting the wings to get past as well.
In third place, Jordan Taylor and Curtis Mitchell were side by side. Curtis Mitchell was to the outside and into the chicane. Curtis Mitchell on the inside. Is he going to get through? No. Jordan Taylor somehow fends him off. And this not doing neither of them any favours, because the two leaders are getting further up the road, and behind Ollie Peacock, Mike Coppin, well in fact it's Mike Coppin behind, and Richard Lacey and Alan Curtis all getting a little bit closer. Proved on their place. Tor Ryan did a new fastest lap of the race, 50.4. Bobby Trunley at 50.5, and Tor Ryan's taking the lead through turn 1. Tor Ryan hits the front for the second time in this race. Mike Coppin perhaps the one to watch in 5th place as they go up to turn 4. He can't make a move, but Tor Ryan has a couple of kart lengths over Bobby Trunley. I think we should probably focus on this battle for third, Alex.
Definitely, and Mike Copping is going to factor in this quite heavily.
Oh, and he goes up the inside
into the Bruno chicane. Brilliant move on Jordan Taylor.
Oh,
and Taylor rejoins and bumps into Richard Lacey there.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact there between Taylor and Mike Coppin. Looks like a good move to me, but in Taylor's defence, he did have the run round the outside, and did Mike Coppin give him enough room? in the end, a bit of contact made, a lot of time lost, but Mike Coppins still somehow comes out in 4th place.
Oh, and there's a car nearly going sideways. That's the number 51. That's Richard Lacey.
Yeah.
How did he hang on to that one coming into turn 2?
Oh, well, have we got a change further up there in front of Chris Hackworth? It was, so that was, I think, was that Luke Hornsby passing Daniel Russell, or vice versa? Let's see, I think it's Daniel Russell actually, Nuno Costa even. It's Nuno Costa going past Luke Hornsby. So on the recovery, the number 14 coming through turn 2, Nuno Costa was high up in the field, then had that incident which has subsequently seen James Perry receive a penalty, and Nuno Costa now making places back into 10th place. Next on his list will be Daniel Russell in the blue race suit there, who already looking over his shoulder.
As Mike Copping has broken a couple of kart lengths away from Jordan Taylor, with Alan Curtis really threatening going into turn 3, heading down towards the straight on turn 4. Alan Curtis has thrown it up the inside of Jordan Taylor for 5th, going into Stratford corner, heading towards the Bruno chicane. They're coming through right now, and Jordan Taylor tries to go up the inside into the first part of that, and that could really open the door for Richard Lacey as the pair head down towards Wilkins. So some great entertaining battles as Luke Hornsby still in the walls with Chris Hackworth. The pair go side by side through turn 3, heading up towards turn 4, down the straight towards Stratford corner, and it's Chris Hackworth who's got the inside line, makes up the place into turn 4, comes out the corner ahead. Luke Hornsby is trying to fight back, going into the Bruno chicane.
He's alongside, Luke Hornsby alongside, and gets through. So Luke Hornsby started the lap in 12th, he's now in 11th. Chris Hackworth's
and Chris Hackworth is losing another place. He's losing another place. That's to, I think, is that to Joe Ellis, maybe?
Yes. Yes, not only Joe Ellis, but Martin Bork's gone through as well. Jordan Taylor defends, so no room for Richard Lacey. But, Alex, I think we should probably keep an eye on this one for another lap or so, because Richard Lacey is, I think, is he going to try at turn 1? He is. Richard Lacey up the inside, but Jordan Taylor comes back. Oh, there's almost a bit of contact as they exit turn 2, and he's on the grass. Richard Lacey on the grass. Jordan Taylor showing Richard Lacey to the grass there, not having any of it. No, and Richard Lacey not at all pleased with the driving of Jordan Taylor there, but there's still a long way to go in this race and a lot of time for Richard Lacey to make that move, but in his defence he has lost a lot of time with all of that.
That was very, very close. That could have ended up a lot nastier than what just happened, with Lacey having 2 wheels on the grass approaching turn 3, with Jordan Taylor being very, very robust.
Nuno Costa already passed. He's now up to 8th place. Nuno Costa, next for him will be this Jordan Taylor Richard Lacey battle, which is around let's see, it's around, I think it's 3.6 seconds it is up the road.
And Taylor and Lacey are heading into turn 4 at the moment. Stratford hairpin coming round the corner, going down the straight towards the Bruno chicane. So Lacey will want to have an answer very shortly for Taylor. It could happen at any point on track as the pair go through the Bruno chicane, heading towards Wilkins. So they're both line astern heading into Wilkins, and Lacey is trying to force the issue. Can't quite make the move stick into Wilkins. They come out of the final turn across the start-finish line, bumper to bumper, as Bobby Trundy is further dropping away from Tor Ryan in 2nd place at the moment. Mike Copping is doing a sterling job up in 4th place. Alan Curtis, winner last time out at Buckmore, in 5th.
And as he got the run going down towards Wilkins, he draws alongside. I think Richard Lacey could make the place up here. He has, he's alongside. All he needs to do is hold on to it now. Through Wilkins they go, and Richard Lacey is through. He's now up to 6th place, but he's got to hold Jordan Taylor off for the next lap. He defends into turn 1, Richard Lacey, and just got to try and get a gap of 4 or 5 tenths, and then he should be away.
And it looks like Jordan Taylor has overtaken Richard Lacey again for 6th place there.
He has.
So it looks
what's
like
going on at turn 4? Is he defending? No.
He is defending. So Lacey and Taylor, it's back on again between these two.
Yeah, it is, as they come into the Bruno chicane. Jordan Taylor now back ahead of Richard Lacey. And this is always a frustrating point in the race where you get two drivers who can't work out who's quicker and who should do the leading and who should do the pushing. Tor Ryan, who expected this? I mean, when Bobby Trunley passed him, I thought that was going to be Bobby Trunley maybe trying to pull away or would pull away. But Tor Ryan, it's exactly what he was doing in qualifying. I think he's even found more pace on the rest of the field between qualifying and the race. And where has he found it from? Because I don't think he's been here. I think practice on the Saturday, which of course was yesterday, I think that was his first time here.
So what's the gap between Curtis Mitchell and Mike Copping, Chris?
It is 1 second.
So Mike Copping from 10th has made his way up to 4th and is closing on Curtis Mitchell.
They're heading down towards Wilkins now. We'll pick them up as they come down these start-finish straights. So Curtis Mitchell versus Mike Copping. Curtis Mitchell now exits. You can see him there in the red race suits. Here he comes down the start-finish line, and behind, getting his head down there, Mike Copping, as they make their way through turn 1.
And they're right behind the back marker there, Chris, coming into the Bruno chicane.
Yes, and Curtis Mitchell's delayed, and Mike Copping's gone through. Round the outside, Mike Copping's gone through. Oh, but he goes off, and Curtis Mitchell now gets the place back. Well, we said the back marker might come into play. It's given us 2 position changes in around 2 corners. And so Mike Copping's going to have to try again. Originally got through, and now he's going to have to try and get that place back, and he's going to try into turn 1. He draws alongside. Mike Copping up.
He's gone up the inside into turn 1. Brave move there, going really catching the edge of the track there. And he's still got Curtis. He's actually signalling to Curtis Mitchell, just stay on my back bumper. Let's go forward, guys.
Yeah, and Curtis Mitchell, you know what? He might just be following that, because didn't go past at turn 4, even though he had a clear opportunity to do so. I think why he's saying that, you know, Bobby Trunley is only 4 seconds ahead.
Well, so they're going to have him in sighting distance not too far, because Bobby Trunley is just coming through Wilkins at the moment, coming through back marker traffic.
He's really struggling, Bobby Trunley. I don't know what's going on with Bobby, but struggling for pace. And, well, not that lap. He seems to pick the pace up, 50.7. But Mike Copping almost as quick as Bobby. That was with an overtake. Let's see what he can do now. He's got some clear space ahead of him.
Yes, so the pair are coming through turn 3, heading up towards turn 4, as Mitchell gets past the back marker, safely being let through there. Thank you.
Owen Costa's through. He's gone past Richard Lacey. Coming out of turn 2, Nuno Costa has made that place. Richard Lacey now behind him. Trunley look delayed in the chicane. Can't get past the back marker here. He's losing time. Mike Copping getting closer. Mike Copping probably now within a second, as Bobby Trunley continuing to get past some traffic, gets through in the end, and Bobby knows that that's cost him quite a bit of time there. It would have cost him around 0.2 of a second, I reckon, as he now exits. What's the gap between them now? 0.8 of a second. It's the lowest it's been all race between Bobby Trunley, the number 1, the reigning champion, in 2nd, and Mike Copping, 5th in last year's championship, in 3rd place, as they head up towards turn number 4, Stratford Hairpin.
And that's Tom Eastwood ahead of Mike Copping at the moment, one of the back markers. Right. So here we go. It's Mike Copping's got to get past really quickly, past Tom Eastwood as they come through into the Bruno chicane.
He's got to get past coming out the chicane before Wilkins, ideally, like Bobby did. Has been slightly delayed here, can't get by, and oh no, Mike Copping, this is going to be hurting his race. Oh no, he can't get through at Wilkins either. This is an absolute nightmare for Mike Copping. He needs to get past, and there's the wave that you were referring to, Alex. As he comes down the straight.
No, that was not the Days of Thunder wave. That was the shoe get out of my way wave there from Mike Copping.
And 4, Alex.
And there's another factor in this. Curtis Mitchell has also got past Tom Eastwood, so there could be a 3-way battle for 2nd in the dying moments of this race. But of course, we can't forget about our current leader, Tor Ryan.
Yes.
Now, this man has had no real mention, but he has dominated proceedings here.
If you win a race race with no real mention, then you've done a very good job.
Yes, he's just coming through turn 2 and now into turn 3.
But look, Bobby Trunley a little bit delayed by one of the back markers there, and this has reduced the gap significantly. The gap is now only 3/10 as they come through turn 1. This is lap number 68 through turn 2. So the number 1 there, that is Bobby Trunley. Number 5 is Mike Coppin, and he's looked over his shoulder, and for the first time he can almost reach out and touch Mike Coppin. That's how close Coppin is as they go through turn 4.
Bobby, guess who's back?
Up towards the chicane. Bobby Trunley looking over his shoulder again. He's very concerned about Mike Coppin. Curtis Mitchell praying that Mike Coppin's going to have a lunge, or that even better, Bobby Trunley defends and it will allow him to catch the pair of them. What's Bobby Trunley going to do? Is he going to defend in Wilkins?
Yes, he does.
Yes. So Mike Coppin, no way through there. Where's he going to try his move?
He's going around the outside, trying to throw the switch back. He switched back, trying to go up the inside into turn 1. Doesn't quite make it stick. The pair come through turn 2. Line astern. It's Bobby Trunley from Mike Coppin, bumper to bumper, down into turn 3, heading towards Stratford hairpin turn 4. Could this be the decisive move where Mike Coppin takes the advantage? Not yet.
Curtis Mitchell is only 1.2 seconds back from this battle, and Bobby Trunley is looking backwards more than he is forwards as Mike Coppin is trying to come up the inside, can't make it through. We're probably going to have 2 laps to go when they cross the line, maybe 3. They head down towards Wilkins now. And Bobby Trunley again looking over his shoulder, has to defend going into Wilkins. Mike Coppin looking to the outside. It's going to be any moment now that he starts to get worried about Curtis
and here
Mitchell
we go,
well,
it's on. Mike Coppin's trying to think about going up the inside. He does into turn 1. Mike Coppin takes second place from Bobby Trunley through into turn 2, and Curtis Mitchell is potentially waiting in the wings. Bobby Trunley looking back at Curtis Mitchell, going through turn 3, heading towards turn 4, Stratford hairpin. Brilliant slingshot manoeuvre into turn number 4 as it's still, Trunley's right on the back bumper of Coppin at the moment as the pair come down the straight heading towards the Bruno chicane.
Yep, so through the chicane then, Bobby Trunley still close to Mike Coppin. Can he have a go at getting that second place back? Mike Coppin has a couple of kart lengths over him for now. I think we're about to start the last lap. We might just get 2 more in here with Tor Ryan away and clear, but who's going to finish second place? They come across the line. Don't forget about Curtis Mitchell there in the red race suit. He's still there in 4th place. He's not too far behind either. Bobby Trunley's trying everything he can to hang with Mike Coppin, but I don't think he's got the legs to do it.
And as we say that, Tor Ryan is heading towards Wilkins behind 4 or 5 back markers. He can rest easy now because...
Yep, so we're going to get 1 more lap to go. So Tor Ryan crosses the line, which he does now, so let's focus on the battle for second. Mike Coppin, Bobby Trunley and Curtis Mitchell there in shot in that order as they head down the back straight.
So Tor Ryan's making his way through turns 3 and 4, but of course this battle between Bobby Trunley and Mike Coppin is literally gone explosive on us here at Shenington. The trio, that's Coppin, from Trunley, from Curtis Mitchell, going into turns 1. Now through turn 2, nice and smooth from Mike Coppin. Bobby Trunley trying to hang on as much as he can. Potentially, hopefully not a last-ditch manoeuvre from Bobby Trunley in the dying stages, but Mike Coppin, I think, is too far ahead as they all come through into turn 4. They go out of turn 4 with Coppin ahead of Trunley and Mitchell. They're heading down to the Bruno chicane.
Yeah, and Tor Ryan exits the last corner. Flag at the ready. Tor Ryan takes a win, and a very comfortable win. He's absolutely ran away with it here. Over the moon. Tor Ryan, unbeatable today. Goes into the pit lane, but who's going to finish second, Alex?
It's coming down to a whisker here, and again for the second round in succession, it's Mike Coppin that takes second place ahead of current championship leader Bobby Trunley. Curtis Mitchell takes 4th. Alan Curtis fought his way up to 5th place in the end on that, with ahead of Nuno Costa. Great move from him. Up the field, Richard Lacey was 7th ahead of Jordan Taylor. Anthony Kirk and Daniel Russell completed the top 10. Zander Mahoney, Joe Ellis, James Perry, Seb Cook, Luke Hornsby, Ollie Peacock, Tom Eastwood, Stuart Shearman, Lee Kerry, Chris Hackworth, coming from the back of the grid after a penalty, and he wasn't the only one. It was James Perry coming back from 29th to 13th. Chris Hackworth made it back to 20th. Martin Bork, Tim McKeegan, Tim Ellis, Philip Senior, James Browning, Nigel Foote, John Donnelly, Paul Mason and Alec Tucker completes your running. But what a dominant display and a cracking win for Tor Ryan.
Bobby Trunley, third place for you today. You seem a little bit disappointed, but overall good points.
It's good points, yeah. I just felt disappointed because I got the jump on Tor at the start, but top hat for Tor. What a dominant win. Deserved it.
Well done, Bobby. Cheers for that. Mike.
I'm down for a shot.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, Mike. Yeah. Mike, brilliant race. Honestly, from 10th on the grid, drove your way through. Just about caught Bobby at the end there. Talk us through the move.
It was. I think I looked at the time clock, and there was about 4 minutes left, and I was thinking to myself, right, I'm just about to pull into the toe, and I had my headset on, and my brother said to me, "Where are you going to make the move?" And as he said that, I made the move, and I went, "I'm going to make it there." But it was coming through turn one, and I got a run on Bobby. He was going narrow into the last corner, so I got a run on him down the straight, and he tried to squeeze me, I think, and then he pulled out wide to try and take the racing line, and I've just shoved it through there, and managed to keep the line going through the right hander, and from then I think he dropped a bit of time, and managed to pull a few kart lengths, but that was tough. That was in the making for about half an hour, that move, and I was saying to Curtis when I got past him, stick with me, we're going to catch Bobby, and he, in fairness to Curtis, he stuck with me. He didn't try and make a move. He tried to sit on my bumper, and it worked, and we caught him with a lap or two to go. So tough but brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Yeah, brilliant drive, honestly. Well done, Mike. That's 2 second place on the bounce for Mike. I've not really been on these much. Tor Ryan, well, you were just gone. What was the gap in the end? Let's see, 19.7 seconds. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Bobby said at the start of the race, he said you're outside for turn 2, be careful. Sure enough, he went, and I thought, you know what, if we can gap third, I can fight with you later on. I was pushing him for a few, I can't remember how many laps, but it got to the point where he was starting to actually hold me up a bit. Kept my head down, got the pass done, and then just tried to gap him, and then the next time I checked he was a fair bit behind, and I thought, keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing. Sure enough, got the fastest lap as well, so yeah, good day.
Did you surprise yourself in any way, or is this what you were expecting?
Well, I had a good test yesterday. There was only 2 lights who beat me, so I was feeling confident with the track wise. Pray for some good weather, and if you can get out ahead and go. See, that battle with Bobby worried me a little bit at first, but you just got to keep your head in, keep doing what you're doing. I knew I had a bit of pace on him from sat behind him. Whether or not it was going to be the toe that was making me feel quicker, but when I got past him, he stuck with me for a little bit, but I didn't feel any nudges to say he was faster. So just wasn't surprised with it. Just kept my head down and did what I had to do. So.
Well done, a win. That moves him closer to Bobby in the championship as well.
Finally a win, been looking for one.
Well done, Tor. Well done. Brilliant win, won by just under 20 seconds in the end. So that's Inter Enduro done here at Shenington. If you want to get involved in DMAX, visit our website or call this number.